Hello, hello. We are back. It is day 2 of the Creator Path Summit. We are live. Thank you for every single one of you joining, already introducing yourself in the chat. And a big thank you to everyone that was with us all day yesterday. There were hundreds of you that were live with us for 4+ hours. So I just want to say thank you for the support as well as just the commitment to your goals and to what you're building with your creator business. I am incredibly impressed. And for those of you with us live, thank you for taking time out of your day. We've got people here from Brazil, London. I'm coming live from Houston, Texas. And it's so cool to see so many of you joining live from all over the world. Okay, so yesterday, the energy was really, really high. And I know that we can beat it, or at least meet it. And that's the goal for this morning. And I hope to deliver that to you. My name is Alexis Teichmiller, and I am going to be your host today. I am the Senior Brand Partnerships Manager at Circle. And I've also spent the last decade working with 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs like Ali Abdaal, Amy Porterfield, Pat Flynn, Brennan Bouchard, Jasmine Starr, just to name a few. And I've gotten to see the behind the scenes of their business, help them build out affiliate and partnership strategies, as well as get to work with them on the Circle side, helping them build out their communities and their membership businesses. I am also a fellow creator. I have been a business coach for the last 5 years. And you could also say I'm a chronic podcaster. I have produced and hosted 5 podcasts. Shout out to anyone that was with us live yesterday during the live public speaking coach training, where I actually did a mini off the cuff spiel on why you should start a podcast. So if anyone is inspired to start a podcast and wants to chat with me, happy to help however I can there. I have been doing that for the past 8 years, and I am incredibly passionate about the creator economy, entrepreneurs, and creating something from nothing. And that's what you're doing with your business, with your community, with your content. And I'm excited to kind of guide you through this today. And we have a lot of incredible speakers coming up. I will be going through workshop 1, teaching you all things community monetization, memberships. We're going to get into the nitty gritty, and I've got lots of fun, juicy case studies for you as well, because I like hearing from people that are actually doing this every single day. And so we've got lots of that in my presentation. Then we have the creator science guru himself, Jay Klaus, coming up after me. He's going to talk through offer ladders and how to turn followers into profit. This is perfect if you've started to build some aspect of an audience, either through a newsletter, through a YouTube channel, on social in some way, and you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I actually monetize this? So definitely want to stick around for Jay's session. And then we have a panel of real life community builders, and we're going to talk through the art of engagement. So as you are onboarding new community members and you want to have an engaging, like retention focused experience for them, this is going to be a fantastic panel with Kelsey, Jean, and Kaylin. And then after that, we're rounding out day 2 with 2 workshops, one with Chris Donnelly. And he has truly, in the last 12 to 16 months, cracked the cohort code. So if you are interested in cohort programs, meaning bringing a group of people from start to finish through some type of training program experience and doing it at a high ticket level, he is the person to learn from, and he doesn't usually teach this type of content. And so he's going to be teaching this at today's summit. Really looking forward to that. And then we are rounding out with Anne-Laure Lecomte, and she just released her most recent book called Tiny Experiments, and how to commit to tiny, small daily actions and experiments when you're working towards really big goals. And I don't know about you, but being in a summit experience like this can sometimes feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. And so we were like, who can close out our summit and really give us this like grounding? Okay, let's look at the next small few actions we can take. And Anne-Laure is the perfect person for that. So if you can, Try to stick around for her live session. And of course, there will be replays for every single session. If you missed yesterday, we'll be sharing the replays as well as the replays from today. There's always lots of questions about that. Oh, I love it. Sloan in the chat, she just said that she finished Tiny Experiments last night. Perfect timing. And now you get to see Anne-Laure at the summit today. Fantastic. Okay. So as I mentioned yesterday, the chat was buzzing. Let's keep it up. Make sure to ask questions. Stay really curious. We will also have the opportunity to have Q&A with all of our speakers today, including after my session. So there is a Q&A box at the bottom of the live screen. It's a box and it has a question mark in it. Feel free to click that and you can submit a question and then I can actually highlight it on the screen. Our team is also in the chat. Cass, Amala, and Arena, they're in the chat right now, and Leia. They'll also be pulling them aside as well, but sometimes asking them right here in the live stream experience makes it a lot more fun, and I can highlight your question. Let's stay kind and thoughtful in the chat as well, and feel free to tag Circle as you are learning throughout your day. Okay, let's dig in. I have my glasses on today to give you some professor vibes, so let's start. Yesterday was all about audience building. We talked through growing an audience on social media, growing a brand with your content. We also talked through how to grow an email list with Justin Welsh. We talked about how to manage your money once you start making it. So yesterday was all about audience building. And today we're going to be focusing on community and monetization. So we're kind of shifting our brain a little bit to be focusing on some more strategy and how to grow, scale, and earn more profit in your business. So I am curious, we have people from all over the world joining us live right now. What type of business are you building? And please drop it in the chat if you can. I'm always curious. And this also gives me a great, kind of a litmus test of who's in the audience. Let me know what type of business you're building. Is it a newsletter business? Are you building a physical product? Are you building an app? Or you're a SaaS company? Are you a coach? Are you a course creator? Okay, Annie says logo and brand design. I love that kind of work. Okay, t-shirts, wellness lifestyle, art apparel. That's really cool, Anu. Online nail art classes. Anastasia, such a cool niche. Wow, I love that. Okay, Sarah Dawn. Hi, Sarah. I know you from previous summits. I'm a knit and crochet designer and teacher. Okay, community sports complex, building a workshop and training business, or building. Incredible. So lots of diverse businesses that you're building. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Membership business, startup courses and community. Ooh, yes, a mental health community. Incredible. So as you know, and I don't know how far you're into your journey, but building a business refines you. Can we agree on that? As a human being, there's business us, there's also life us. I believe that those two things are really integrated. But when you're building a business and you're bringing your vision to life, that business will refine you. It will call you up. It will push your limiting beliefs. And I always say one of the best ways to learn about yourself and how to, own some of the things that you need to work on, start a business, because you'll see all the different things of oh, okay, here's a limiting belief. Oh, here's where my ego is getting in the way. Oh, I don't want to quit. I want to keep pushing through. It'll teach you resistance. Business refines you in the most beautiful ways. Business also positions you as a leader. And sometimes this word can make us feel a little ooh, okay, am I a leader? What does it mean to be a leader? But for you, as you're building your business and you're building your brand, and in this context, building a community, you are leading people through some type of experience in some way. You are either leading them to some aspect of transformation, you're helping them take action. Maybe you're even facilitating connection and you're bringing people together where they feel safe and they can share. Margaret in the chat right now, she's a widow and grief coach. It is a beautiful example of leading people through maybe her own experiences, bringing people together so that they can support each other through the loss of their partner. So I have another question for you. In what ways yes, Anu, business humbles us. Yes, we learn to handle failures 100%. In what ways has your business journey already revealed the leader within you? So maybe it's shown you, okay, these are the ways that I can really serve people. I have a heart for helping people do XYZ. And maybe people follow you for a specific reason. I'm curious how your business journey has helped reveal that leader inside of you and how we can nurture that and how we can own that, especially as a community-led business. I love it. Okay, lots of beautiful answers in the chat. Lots of people typing. So yeah, I think this is always really an important context when we're stepping out and we're building products and we're building experiences, is it's not about us. And at the same time, it's about the expertise or the connections or the information that we know that we want to package in some way and help unlock some sort of transformation for someone else. Okay, yeah, Harry said, I've learned to listen to people well. Yes, Afusa said, I can do hard things, 100%. All right, so getting into today's workshop around building a community-led business and turning your creator path into a career path. I have to kick it off. I have two strong opinions, and I would love to see if we agree in the chat. So opinion number one is being an entrepreneur gives you access to unlimited earning potential. There is no revenue ceiling that you have on you whenever you're an entrepreneur. Sky is the limit. You have freedom, and you also have the ability to create really, really meaningful connections with your audience. Do we agree on this? Yes. Yes. And also, I believe that being an entrepreneur can be quite volatile. Just like this is called the Creator Path Summit, when you're on a path, there's lots of ups and downs. There's forks in the road. There's different decisions to make, similar to even the path that's on the screen literally right now. It can be volatile. We don't always know where revenue is coming from. Maybe there isn't a level of sustainability for you right now yet until you take this workshop. But that's the part that can be difficult for entrepreneurs and for creators, is to have that sense of financial foundation so that it isn't as volatile. My other strong opinion is that I believe that earning MRR as a creator, and MRR stands for monthly recurring revenue, is one of the best paths to long-term success and sustainability. And what I mean by this could be a membership program. This could be a retainer services program. Any way that you're able to integrate more retainer, monthly recurring revenue, and it's not just one-off purchases, you have the ability to build a more long-term sustainable business. All right. Do we agree on those two things? Let me jump back. Are we agreeing? Yes. And Anu says 2 for 2. Okay. Latifa says 100% emoji. Chippy says somewhat. That's okay. We don't have to agree. Okay. Joseline says 1,000 times yes. All right. We are somewhat on the same page, coming at this from a specific. Yeah. Chippy says MRR equals the Holy Grail. 100%. Okay. So where we're coming from today, where I'm coming from, excuse me, is at Circle, we see the data of over 15,000 of the most popular communities online. And we have access to the data on what works and what doesn't work. And so that's kind of the lens in which I'm presenting a lot of this information to you today. We've also helped some of the most successful communities online set up their strategy, build their community, and attract their first members. A lot of those brands are literally household names. And I've also had the opportunity and honor to teach thousands of creators the value of community at our virtual summits like we're doing right now. So we also support lots of brands like Adobe, SPI, Notion, Growth Day, lots and lots and lots more, Harvard. And what I mean to say is that we do this every single day, and just want to give you some context of I believe data matters and that context matters. So this is kind of where we're coming from today. So this workshop is perfect for you if you are creating your first community, you want to level up an existing business with a community, you're already a podcast or newsletter blogger, or you have some type of membership, maybe you've launched a course, or you're just really curious of what the best creators are doing in 2025. So my big promise to you is in the next 45 minutes, you are going to walk away with clarity on the right community business model for you and actionable next steps towards launching a real community experience. And here's how I'm going to deliver that. One, we're going to help you find your perfect community business model that helps drive that sustainable growth that we were talking about, that MRR. We're also going to help you create measurable transformation that members can't necessarily achieve alone. And that's the value of them being in a community. We're going to give you 8 amazing, epic signature gatherings that members can count down the days to attend. It keeps them coming back again and again. We're going to help you master strategic pricing that reflects your community's true value, but also helps you hit your annual revenue goals. And then we're going to help you understand where your community fits in your offer ladder. And we have a whole workshop on offer ladders right after this with Jay Klaus. So we're not going to go too deep into this, but I just kind of want to introduce the idea and help you kind of see where community might fit in. And then the last, helping you execute on an engaging community launch that creates immediate momentum. All right, let's do this. Are we ready? Yes, we're excited. Lots of beautiful movement in the chat. Lots of agreement on MRR being valuable. Amazing. Okay. Strategy number 1. We believe that community unlocks transformation. And you've probably heard the word transformation come out of my mouth quite a bit over the last 18 minutes. But I believe that when you look at community through this lens, you start to see, okay, my community really does help people. It really does serve people. It really does unlock specific results. So when you think in the context of a community business model, the core goal is to transform a member. So there's like a core transformation happening. And we see this in 3 core buckets among all the communities that are hosted on Circle. One around improve your life. So this is parenting communities, wellness communities, lifestyle, fitness, beauty, fashion, anything that's just there to kind of like life clubs and help someone improve their life. The second bucket is learning a skill. So this is helping people, code, sew, write, launch their first book, launch a podcast. We have communities that their whole goal is to help you launch a community, not to get too meta, but there are communities that exist to help members achieve a specific skill and help them unlock and learn that skill. And then the third bucket is building a career. And this is kind of that professional network bucket. So these are, women who code, people who are trying to get into coding, but they're trying to build a professional network to access more jobs. There's lots of examples here that we'll actually get into in a second. Aaron said, what if your offering spans all 3 buckets? That's great. I think for your messaging and for your messaging to be really clear, it's great when you can lead with one of these. So you might have learn a skill is the core message. I'm going to help you learn how to write your first book. And as a result, you might have some taking care of yourself lifestyle as an author, as a writer. That would be improve your life. And then you're also building a network because all those writers are together and they can grow and they can, give each other advice as well as open up different referrals for each other. But I think messaging wise, leading with one can make it really clear the value of why your member or potential member is joining your community. Okay. So what transformation do you help people achieve? I would love to hear this in the chat. Okay, Anu says, I have a community called Greenspirations showing upcoming sustainable products around the world. So an example of a transformation that could help someone achieve is someone who was wanting to spend their money with a more environmentally friendly mindset. They could go to your community and they could start only buying products that maybe you recommend based on, what you're seeing in the market. What transformation do you help people achieve? There's 20 plus people typing right now. And I think it's helpful to simplify. I help people go from blank to blank. So I help target member, who's your ideal customer, we'll get into that in a second, go from pain point to ideal outcome by boom. Okay, Darren, love this. Very clear. Financial scarcity to financial abundance. Very, very clear. Pulls out that pain point. Okay, let's see. Over here to the chat. Okay, Afosa, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I help corporate C-suite professionals escape feeling unfulfilled in their, the chat's moving so fast. Okay, I help corporate C-suite professionals escape feeling unfulfilled in their successful careers and start achieving their most valuable personal and career goals in 12 weeks or less. That is so specific. So they're feeling unfulfilled and burnt out. I help them start achieving their most valuable personal and career goals in 12 weeks or less. So she even put a time container around that, which is lovely. And then I can say, oh, I want that in 90 days. And I can start even picturing my life and how it's changed in 90 days because of how clear that target message is. That's beautiful. Okay. Thank you in the chat for spotlighting that. Let's find another one here. Lots of messages. Okay. Niluka. Love that name. Let's spotlight this. My community is for online founders, coaches, and consultants who are sick of doing it all alone and miss having a team around them. Goal to feel less lonely and to grow our businesses together. This kind of is that professional network community. Love this. I help online founders, coaches, and consultants. Pain point, sick of doing it all alone, miss having a team. Ideal outcome, not feeling lonely, and we're able to grow our businesses together. Incredible. Ooh, Mike, it's so good to see you in the chat. Okay, I'm going to spotlight you. Mike, he went through our last community builder bootcamp. Love Mike, such a smart human being, great content. My community is Project Resurgence. I help new creators become consistent through quarterly group challenges. Amazing. So a creator who is struggling with consistency and struggling putting out specific consistent content, I help them build systems to get more consistent through quarterly challenges and in a group setting. Incredible. Loving this. Okay, so a little bit more here on outlining your ideal member persona. So it's helpful for you to get clear on the solution that you provide. And also it's really important to get clear on who your ideal member persona is. So who they are, all their personal details. What is it that they want? What are their core pain points? What are their gains from going through your community? And what's their ideal transformation? So this is kind of a different way of this statement is just looking at it through this chart. Also, this is a literal screenshot from the Community Builder Bootcamp that we're hosting next week. I'll tell you more about that here in a couple minutes, probably in like 20 minutes. But for Cass or my team in the chat, if you can drop the link to the bootcamp, if you're curious and you're just like, I want to look into this right now, go ahead and do that. But this is a really helpful framework for outlining your ideal member persona. Another kind of filter to run through when you're thinking through, okay, I want to help this kind of person transform from A to B is who is ready for your community and who is not ready for your community. And while I would love to say that we can serve everyone, that's not necessarily the case, nor do I think that we should try to serve everyone because I think it dilutes our message and it also can dilute our process because we're trying to make it so top of funnel and so almost generic that we kind of cut out all the beautiful, like nuanced core details when you know exactly who you're serving. So maybe for you in the chat, write my community, or sorry, this person is ready for my community, or this person is not ready for my community. And just being able to have that clarity of who you're for and who you're not for can also really help refine your messaging when you go to market. Okay, once you're clear on your transformation, it's time to choose your vehicle. Choose your fighter, choose your vehicle. So strategy number 2 is back to the community business models. As I mentioned, there are thousands of communities on Circle, but the majority of them fit in some version of these 3 monetization models. So number 1 is a paid membership community. You are probably not going to be unfamiliar with any of these, but it is helpful to see these buckets. So a paid membership community is perpetual, ongoing, evergreen. Members are paying monthly, quarterly, or annually to get access to the content, access to the community. The second one is limited time cohort-based communities. So this community exists for a specific period of time. This is what Chris Donnelly is going to be talking about here in a couple of sessions. And the goal is to help take someone from point A to point B. Cohorts have a very clear transformation statement, and it's in some sort of set container of time. 1 week, 4 weeks, 3 months, depending on the time. And this can also take form in a boot camp, like we're doing next week, a 5-day boot camp. That would be kind of a mini cohort or a challenge, but this has a start and end date. And then the last one is a product-centric community. This is usually a brand or a startup with a product, and the community is a place for those members to learn about the product and connect with other users. So you might be thinking, why should I host a separate community? I have my newsletter. Maybe you're using a Facebook group. Maybe you've built up an audience on LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok. Why should I host a separate community? Well, our core 3 reasons is the first one is around safety and privacy. So safety for you as the community builder, meaning you're not worried about your account being shut down, algorithms changing, just having the safety and kind of the foundation of your business is in a place that you have more control over. Tori talked a lot about this yesterday, Tori Dunlap in her session, and also a sense of privacy for your members. So you might have built a beautiful community with your newsletter or on social media, but those conversations are one to many. So you are just talking and your community is talking back to you, but a lot of those conversations are happening in the DMs and they're not happening with each other. So how do you create a sense of safety for your members to come together, and also a private place? Depending on your topic, you might want to have these conversations off big platforms and off social platforms to create a sense of privacy and psychological safety for your members. Another one is just audience connection. You have a direct line of communication with your audience. I don't know about you, but I actually used to use Facebook groups about a decade ago when I launched one of my first businesses, which was a women's clothing company. And I ran that for about 3 years. And I used a Facebook group to connect with my customers. It was kind of like, it was 2013, 2014, 2015. And I needed a way to get in contact. But what I realized, even in 2.5 years of using Facebook groups, my engagement would start to tank. And it's even worse now because people are on Facebook. They're distracted. They're not there to engage with you or necessarily engage with your content. They're looking at lots of different content, lots of different ads. And so their attention and their connection with you is being pulled in all these different directions. Another one, and the last one, is the proximity to transformation. So the closeness that you have to your member or a customer, client, audience, the closeness that you have to that transformation kind of tightens that feedback loop. I don't know about you, but when you're posting and creating content, you're not always quite clear on how that's impacting somebody. But when it's inside of a separate community, you're getting that proximity to the transformation. You're able to see how, their lives are changing, specific results they're getting, and you're able to close that feedback loop much quicker. Okay, so I want to give you some very specific examples of these different types of buckets. First one being paid memberships. So this is an example of Exit 5 with Dave Gearhart. This would fall under a build a career or a network kind of bucket. He is a B2B marketer and he's built quite an amazing audience on LinkedIn. And as he was building more and more of his content, he realized, okay, people are coming to me kind of thought leadership wise for how to be a B2B marketer. And as you can see in his tagline, no one goes to school for B2B marketing. So what if I created a membership on how to be a B2B marketer, but it's in a way that all these marketers are together, learning, growing, and able to excel their careers. And now he has over 6,000 paying members, aka recurring revenue, paying $30 a month. It's jam-packed with value, lots of tactical advice. He has live events, resources, an area for feedback where people can actually submit their work, submit their resumes, and submit things that they want the community to give them feedback on, and loads of discussion spaces. And he also has a really small team. He does have a community manager, but he has really massive margins that allow him to have really solid leverage. And Suzanne asked, what is B2B? Thank you. B2B is business to business. So B2B and B2C, a business selling to a business, or B2C, a business selling to a consumer. So there's just a different kinds of sales process and different kinds of needs whenever you're selling to different types of markets. Okay, another example of a paid membership. I love this example. This is Danica Bloom, and she has a membership called Author Ever After. And she helps indie authors publish their first and kind of launch their romance career and publish their first book. So she has 120 plus members paying either a quarterly investment of $249 or a one-time payment of around $4,500. And that's for done with you services. So she has two different tiers inside of her membership community. She has the do it yourself, but have mentorship and have all this programming, or you can access the community and I will do it with you at a higher price. So a really cool example of membership mixed with services. She also includes live and recorded workshops, masterminds. She has a peer mentorship program, office hours. And it's really cool to see how many people she has tens and tens of people that have published books because of going through her program. Okay, so this is ideal in a few scenarios. You like predictability. So like that membership model, you want that recurring revenue. You're okay consistently adding value, creating content, and showing up every single day. And you also feel like you have the systems and strategies in place to retain your members and keep them coming back month over month. So you might be an expert launcher. You can get people rallied and hyped around a new idea or a new product, but can you retain them? And that's the aspect of paid memberships that requires another layer of strategy. Okay, the second bucket, limited time cohort-based programs. So a great example of this is Gwen. This is Gwen from Breakthrough Facilitation, and it is a 5-week cohort course and community program for people who want to learn how to lead more dynamic and engaging virtual experiences, just like this. This is cohort style learning, and this also includes discussion spaces, and she does live coaching sessions and events. So she teaches, and then she actually has her members go live with her and immediately apply the skills that she's taught them. Just like if you were at the Ultra speaking session yesterday, what you saw Tristan and Michael do with me live is what she does in her 5-week cohort. Her course ranges from 2,200 to 2,500, and she only accepts about 30 students at a time. And so she does this 3 times a year. This is what a $200,000 course looks like at a cohort level. She doesn't need a massive audience. She has that expertise and she has her sales funnel down. So I don't mean to oversimplify it, but she doesn't need an audience of thousands and thousands. And a lot of now, because she's been doing this for the last 4 years, it comes from referrals. Okay, another great example of limited time cohort-based is Life Leap with Glow and Stefan. So this is a 3-month group coaching program for entrepreneurs who are looking to strengthen their personal branding and their products. And it's capped at 20 people. So it's like a 90-day intensive mastermind. And if you are not familiar with Glow Autonmo, her work is incredible. Her Instagram handle is Glow Graphics. She's built a phenomenal brand. She's been at Circle Summits before, Circle customer, and she has been in the creator space, launching programs and courses and creating content for 15 years. So she's leveraging her expertise in a mastermind format. It's a $10,000 investment. She runs it 3 times a year, and this has become a really beautiful core revenue stream for her business. Cohorts are ideal in a few scenarios. You like to be all in for a period of time, and then you like to rest. So maybe you do one cohort per quarter, twice a year, depending on how long they are. while there is a little bit more volatility to that, right? And there is kind of that open, closed cart mentality, you're okay with that. You're comfortable doing launches. You don't mind the variance. Thank you, Hoseline, for dropping Glow's Instagram in the chat. Seriously, everyone go follow her. She's fantastic. Also, there is a natural end date to the purpose of your community. Last example is Product-Centric. So this is Notion, and this is kind of how they've set up their Notion community on Circle. And this is a community for users to learn how to use the tool and connect with other users. It's really cool because they have community hosted events that's actually hosted by their users. So the community team has orchestrated the community in a way where they have empowered their members to host their own events and to host their own meetups, which means that the Notion team is kind of the facilitator and they're helping plan and give the users the tools. But the users are the ones that are actually hosting, and they're the ones that are actually kickstarting all of the in-person meetups that are born out of this community group as well. And it's free for Notion accounts, and it has thousands of members. So this is ideal if you care a lot about retention, if you're a tech brand right now watching, or a community manager, you want the ability to upsell or cross-sell, build authority. And in this case, the community is not the product, and you're able to really commit to kind of that long game brand investment. Not to get too meta, but Circle has a Circle community that serves Circle customers on how to use Circle. And it's been the most beautiful way to support our customers and help create a lot of content on how to use the tool. And we also get a lot of feedback on how to make the tool better. So you can combine these models, you can adjust them, make them your own. There are literally hundreds of variations. Another quick 2 aspects where you can kind of combine these, because I don't think that everything is black and white and fits in these perfect buckets. You might be thinking the same. This is Hannah Wilson from Quoted Visually, also another fantastic Instagram account. She created a self-paced course for creators who want to translate their ideas into scroll-stopping visuals. So how do you use Adobe to create and distill your idea into a graphic? And she has course material, creator spotlights, Q&A discussion. It's a one-time $300 investment. And then students get lifetime access to the community so that she can continue to support them that way. Another great example is a pay-as-you-go model. So maybe when it comes to pricing, you're not quite sure how to price and you want people to maybe learn a little bit more about the value that they would get from your community without having to pay and invest a lot up front. This is Mila from the Glucose Guide. This is a community offering evidence-based support to individuals living with diabetes. And her community has loads of educational resources. She has live cooking classes. She has group coaching, one-on-one coaching, and also peer-to-peer member support. She has around 1,300 members starting at $1 a week. Bella asked, the name of the Notion community is just Notion Community, and it's a Product-Centric. But the cool thing here with Mila is that it starts at $1 a week, and then it can go up to $5 to $50 a month or $100 for a one-time all access fee. And she actually uses Circle's branded app. So we have something called Circle's branded apps, and she actually transitioned her community to her own app that we help her set up on the App Store. And what was really cool about this is because it was on the App Store, she was able to triple her member acquisition because people could actually start finding people were searching for, glucose or diabetes communities in the App Store, and her community was showing up. So she was able to triple her memberships just from being, on the App Store and having her own branded app. Number 3, how do I deliver transformational experiences? We've talked about transformation. Maybe you've gotten some clarity on the community business model that you're interested in. Now is outlining your community programming. And again, this is another screenshot from the bootcamp workbook that's like so many pages and so beautiful and so in depth. Yes, Jay, I am caffeinated. I'm on my 3rd cup right now, if you can't tell. Okay, so outlining your community programming, it's helpful to look at this in 4 buckets. How do I want to help members? So what features and benefits of the community allow members to get help when they need it? How do I help members take action? So how do I encourage members to actually take action on something? Number 3 is learning. So how do I help them learn? What kind of experiences am I building to help them, unlock knowledge? And then the 4th is connection. So obviously they're not just there for content or to learn something. They're also there to connect with other people. So this is a great screenshotable slide. And there's lots of examples of how you can do each of these. And we will dig into that here in a second on developing your signature gatherings. So if you're like, what the heck is a signature gathering? This is something that we have coined at Circle, but it's an event or ritual that you provide your community to spark engagement that consistently brings your members back again and again to gain value. And I wanted to give you 8 ideas to get you started. And this is not meant to overwhelm you. This is meant to empower you with the knowledge that there are a lot of options and ways to build rituals and engagement touch points with your members inside of your community. And also, this is important. What you start with might not be what you end with. So what I mean by that is you might start with 3 core signature gatherings. And then after a couple of months, you've gathered so much feedback and input from your community members that you realize what they really want is this. And you can shift your signature gatherings over time to really serve what your audience needs. This is just to help you get started. So what you decide here today to go out and say, okay, I'm going to build my community. I'm going to start with these signature gatherings. Don't be precious about them and be willing to evolve based on your members' feedback. So, signature gathering number 1 are hot seats. This is probably one of my favorites. I host a mastermind with one of my best friends, and we do hot seats inside of our mastermind. And we also do them inside of the Circle customer community as well on our live weekly calls. It's basically where you're in a group virtual setting like this, and one person goes in the hot seat. They talk about a specific problem that they're trying to solve, and then the community manager or the rest of the group help them solve that problem. Immense amount of value here, especially if you know exactly why your member has joined the community. They can come in and get really tailored, specific advice on how to solve that specific problem. Number 2 are community powered courses. So gone are the days of static self-paced courses. I don't know about you, but I've purchased courses before and they've just sat on my desktop and I've never ended up taking them because I didn't feel inspired to actually start or finish. Maybe I started it, but I didn't finish. And the beautiful thing about coupling a course experience with a community experience is you can have your community go through one module and then go to a community space to discuss it, to implement it, to ask questions, get feedback, host office hours, and then they're on to the next module. So it's really cool how you can combine the two to add more value to a course experience. Number 3 are live workshops. Pretty self-explanatory, very similar to what we're doing here. SPI does this every single week, and live workshops have actually become a core pillar of their signature gatherings. And just being able to go live with Pat Flynn every single week for office hours brings so much value to the membership. Number 4 are accountability groups. This is Kristen Busquet. She's the founder of SocialMate, and she hosts a monthly accountability group where she has people post what their goals are for that month. And then she has even evolved since this example. She's now matched people based on their goals to take the accountability group one step further and assign them an accountability partner for the month that they have similar goals and they can actually lean on each other, not necessarily lean on Kristen, that she's there if they need her, but she's really showing her members to hold each other accountable as well. Number 5 are office hours. So this is a lot more informal. We're actually doing 2 office hours next week inside the Community Builder Bootcamp. And these are really informal, casual, kind of mini workshops where people can just come and ask you any question around the topic of your community, and you can, give specific advice. And also it can be kind of a bit of a group think of someone presents an idea or a question and you're able to go much deeper on this, but you don't have to have any content prepared, which can be really helpful whenever you're busy or maybe you don't have time to host weekly live workshops where you're prepping a slide deck like this. Number 6, book clubs. really like popular way to build fun and engaging experiences inside your community. So you might have a monthly book club or a quarterly book club that just sits alongside of and supports. And there are actually communities where there's 100% just book clubs. Like the whole community exists to support book clubs. So you can go as deep into this signature gathering as you'd like. Number 7 is feedback as a service. So this is something that Dave Perel, he's the founder of Rite of Passage. This is something that he does inside of his community. And this is where members are able to submit their work, their writing work, because they're working on publishing a book. And then other top members or moderators or members of Dave's team can actually go in and give very detailed feedback on how to improve their writing, on how to massage, this paragraph, how to, move around this piece of content. This is also very, very high value, high touch, but does offer a lot of value to your community. And then number 8, to round us out, are challenges. We talked about this a little bit earlier with cohorts, but you could host a monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly challenge. And what I like about this is a way, if maybe you have a community right now, write in the chat if you already have a community. Let me know. I would love to hear it. And if engagement has dipped a little bit, or you just want to blow it up, you're like, engagement's good, but I want to double down. A challenge is a really great way to rally people around a specific transformation. So I've been in communities where, okay, David said he has 2 communities. Amazing. I've been in communities before where they'll host a challenge, and it's like a social media, post every single day for 14 days challenge. I'm like, ooh, okay, yeah, I have been slacking off on posting, and I'm going to join this challenge. And what does it do? I'm logging into the community every day. I'm posting a link to what I've posted on Instagram. And so it's a way to get me engaged with other members. And also it's a way to get me to take action. So I love challenges as a way to bring people together, but also re-spark engagement when it might have fallen. Okay. I would love to hear in the chat, which 1 to 2 signature gatherings do you want to implement? Is there a specific one that you're like, okay, this is definitely something I want to experiment with? Okay. And Anu says that she's running 2 communities, but engagement is a little blah. Maybe try a challenge. Yeah. What 1 to 2 signature gatherings do you want to implement? Oh, Anu says these 8 signature items are gold. Love to hear that. I recommend starting with 1 to 2 and just going from there. Simple is kind and simple is clear. Like to you as you're building, when you implement 8 signature gatherings, people are busy. And while they see value in joining your community, having something on every single day of the week or having, a million different ways to engage can sometimes be a deterrent for people. So keeping it really simple, say, hey, we have a weekly office hours that you can do this. And we have a monthly book club where you can engage with this, or whatever the examples is. Okay. Hannah says office hours and feedback as a service. Dorina says, do these events require a lot of effort? It depends. It completely depends on how much effort you want to put in the community. I will say that if you are planning on charging a premium price, then yes, I would recommend putting a lot of effort into the content and into the events that you're hosting, just so that the value matches the investment that a member is putting into the community. Anu loves the hot seats. Okay. Ooh, I love that. Do a hackathon as a group, solving a real problem. Yes, I've been seeing hackathons and challenges kind of coming together, and I love that idea. Okay. So people don't want more content. They want more connection. And I think it's always helpful to remind ourselves of that. Is we think we have to have all this content in the community when really we need to build specific engagement and connection touch points. So how do I price my community? I'm going to rapid fire here because we've got Jay coming up. We're going to rapid fire a little bit, but there'll be some replays of this. We have really gotten into the weeds here. I hope this has been helpful and valuable to you. So outlining your community pricing. So when you look at your pricing model, are you going to be subscription-based? Are you going to pay for access, freemium? Are you thinking of monthly, quarterly? annual. I will say that quarterly and annual pricing has become very, very popular. And we've kind of seen a little bit of a shift away from monthly pricing. Completely up to you. Are you planning on having it being ongoing, a cohort, and then choosing your ideal price point? And it's helpful to set your revenue goal. So I want to make insert number in revenue from my community by the end of 2025. And I would love for you to share in the chat. I want to make blank in revenue from my community by the end of 2025. So it's April 16th, 2025. We are a little over a quarter into the year. How much money do you want to make from your community this year? It could be an extra $20,000. It could be $200,000. It could be $2 million. The sky is literally the limit. There is no pressure. It's really about having a number that feels empowering to you and also is motivating to you. It feels like a little bit of a stretch. Ooh, okay. Aaron says $10,000 by the end of 2025. Lynette says $500,000. Love that. 26K. So specific. We love it. She's like, I know exactly how much I need to make. I want to make 50K in revenue from my community by the end of 2025. 10K a month. Okay, love it. You're breaking it down monthly. So getting specific on your revenue goal will help you with your pricing model. So what I mean by this, if you're going to charge a one-time fee, here, insert this sentence. If X amount of people purchase access to my community offer at X dollars, I could make X amount by the end of the year. If that's just a one-time fee. But for subscription, if I had an average of X people subscribed monthly, quarterly, or annually, depending on your price and how you want to do that, at X amount of dollars per membership fee, I could make X by the end of the year. This is a really helpful framework to help you get clear on exactly what it will take and how many members you need at that price point. Because you might say, oh, I only want to charge $10 a month. And I want to make $200,000 a year. Hold on. Let me do this really quick. Okay. I want to make, someone do some quick math for me. 200,000 divided by $10 divided by 12. Okay. So I need a little under 1,700 members at $10 a month to get me to that point where I'm making $200K a year. Can I do that? Do I have the audience size? Am I running ads? Thank you, Aaron. Public math is hard, even with these cool glasses on. But yeah, so does your goal match the audience size and so on? So this can really help you get clear. Last question, where does community fit in my offer ladder? So this is an offer ladder or an offer funnel. You're going to hear Jay go into details about this here in just a few minutes. But this is a helpful kind of screenshot of free, low, mid, and high ticket and where you want your community to fit in this offer funnel. Maybe you already have a YouTube channel or a free newsletter, free podcast. You're offering freebies to grow your email list. Is it a low ticket offer? Is it a mid ticket offer? Or is it a high ticket? Let me know in the chat of like where a community would fit for you. And your community can actually deliver all of these as well. So you could have a free community space where you offer a specific, set of offerings. And then maybe you have a low ticket at one tier, then you have a mid ticket at one tier, and you have a high ticket at the highest tier. And you can run all of that in the same community, but you're just offering different things to those people at different tiers. Okay. Lynette says tiers of all. Yeah, I love it. All right. So your assignment, a little bit of homework, is getting specific on the transformation that you want to help people unlock, understanding which community business model suits you best, what do you offer inside of your community, and knowing your pricing model and where community fits in your offer ladder. Maybe you're thinking, I want to build my own community, but how do I get started? And we didn't cover launching. So like, how do I even launch a community? We've run out of time, folks. That's why we have launched the Community Builder Bootcamp. And this was designed to help you go from idea to action in 5 days. It is 100% free, no strings attached. We're running it next Monday to Friday. I'll be with you all day. All week. We're going live every single day. We have a really beautiful, honestly, very detailed boot camp workbook that you can go through. And we've broken down daily curriculum for you. So you'll learn community strategy, your ideal member and business model, a lot of what we covered here, but in more depth in a daily cohort model where you get to go through it with other creators just like you. And we'll have 3 live workshops as well, including office hours with me. So we are kicking it off with Tom Ross, who is a brilliant community builder, and he'll help us identify your community strategy and purpose. Then if you caught the Ultra Speaking workshop yesterday with the founders, Michael and Tristan, we're going to have 2 of their public speaking coaches live with us next Wednesday inside the boot camp. Emily asked, can we participate if we've already had a trial of Circle? 100%. 100%. The boot camp is whether you're on a trial or are on a trial or the trial is expired. Anyone and everyone is welcome. But Ganga and Aman are going to walk through how to go from nervous to natural if you're wanting to host more workshops, office hours, live Q&As inside your community. But as a leader, you're a little nervous of like, how do I show up? How do I build engaging content? How do I show up live and feel comfortable and make my members feel comfortable? Great workshop to be out live or catch the replay next Wednesday. And then I'm going live next Friday with a show and tell to go through and actually highlight different members who have built out their community. We'll do a show and tell of what they've built in 4 days. And maybe we'll even feature you inside the live show and tell. Yes, Leslie, Tom is an amazing teacher and he's an amazing person. So you can join hundreds of creators have already joined, which is really cool. Love seeing everyone that's already joined the bootcamp from yesterday, learning the foundations of building their first or their next community. And here is the link to sign up. Leia has already dropped it in the chat and Cass has pinned it at the top. Thank you both so much. And I'm excited to kick off this boot camp. And because you're with us live, I also wanted to hook you up with a 30-day extended trial of Circle's Pro Plan. We only offer a 14-day trial of Circle on our homepage. And I asked the powers that be if we could get an extended trial just for Summit attendees, as well as people going through the boot camp next week. So we wanted to hook you up, team in the chat, if you can drop the link to this 30-day trial. And if you need it throughout we'll also send out a follow-up email. But if you want to check out Circle, you want to go a bit deeper, do some more research, I highly recommend taking advantage of the trial. Okay. I hate to say it, folks, but we went so deep in the workshop that we don't have time for Q&A. But we will have time for Q&A at the end of the day with me. And then we'll obviously have Q&A time for all of our speakers. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for letting me know. What program do you use? I used Canva. This is Canva. And shout out to Coway on our design team for building this beautiful slide deck and all the animations. He is truly the best.